Have you ever wondered what makes Jura so dangerous and different from the other divine trees? In today's video, I'll show you how his habit of reading books and watching people's actions and behaviors to learn and satisfy his curiosity has helped him think more strategically and grow intelligently. This makes him a much stronger enemy than a typical villain who only uses brute strength to reach their goals. What makes Jura so dangerous is that, like the other divine trees, he gained intelligence after Code awakened their self-awareness. These divine trees have become curious, looking for new experiences that bring them emotions and knowledge, especially information. But Jura is different. He doesn't just try to gain information by aiming to devour his target like the other divine trees try to shape their identity. Instead, he also reads books to educate himself, and he's also observant of people's actions and behaviors. By educating himself through observing other people's actions and reading books, he becomes more intelligent, strategic, and skilled. These abilities make him capable of dominating the shinobi physically, psychologically, and strategically. This can be seen in several situations. The first situation was when Jura went to Konoha to attempt to devour Himawari. In chapter 7 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Jura realized after reading books that the more knowledge he gained, the more questions arose, and the more he discovered how much he didn't know. For Jura, this revelation of his ignorance through learning was fascinating. It led him to visit Konoha with the intention of devouring Naruto, as he had gradually come to understand that none of the books he read held the answers to his growing questions. When he arrived in Konoha, he found a bookshop filled with many books. He was amazed by the sight, and this unexpected discovery seemed promising to him. However, when he reached the presence of the person he had been chasing, he realized it was not Naruto. Jura initially thought that he and Hidari were following Naruto's trail, but to their surprise, their pursuit had led them to Himawari instead. Shikadai asked Jura why he had come to such a remote place. In response, Jura pulled a book from the claw mark covering his body, as if it were part of his clothes, and flipped through its notes. After reading the notes, Jura realized that the person addressing him was Shikadai, the son of the current Hokage and a member of Muegi's Team 10. Without waiting for Shikadai to introduce himself, Jura identified him. Shikadai then asked Jura if he had a message for his father, Shikamaru. Jura replied that their business was with Naruto and explained they had been following Naruto's trail, only to be surprised that it had led them to Himawari instead. Inojin tried to explain to Jura that there was no way Naruto would be in the village, but before he could finish, Shikadai stopped him. Shikadai's interruption made Jura realize that Naruto wasn't truly in the village, as the only nine-tailed signature he could sense was coming from Himawari. When Shikadai asked Jura to explain what the nine-tails chakra had to do with Himawari, Jura admitted that he didn't know either. He remarked that the world kept raising more questions for him, but he liked it. At this point, Jura attempted to trap Himawari using his wood-style jutsu in an effort to devour her. Shikadai, Chojo, and Inojin worked together very well to free Himawari from the tree Jura had used to try to devour her. Instead of attacking them, Jura was impressed by how well they coordinated without even speaking a word. He complimented their teamwork, saying it was incredible. Jura then gave them a warning, telling them that out of respect for their teamwork, the only target today was Himawari, and they had no ill intentions towards Team 10. However, if Team 10 continue to resist and interfere with their plans, Jura and Hidari will have no choice but to attack. Jura was also patient with Team 10. When Shikadai asked if he came to Konoha following Naruto's trail and why he then targeted Himawari, Jura answered him honestly. He told Shikadai that the trail they followed was the nine-tails chakra, which they sensed in Himawari. When Chojo and Himawari were shocked by this and thought it must be a mistake, Jura explained that, as he had said earlier, he and Hidari were also surprised, but needed to find out why this situation existed. Jura said they would at least get one answer by devouring Himawari. Even though Jura warned Team 10 not to resist, Shikadai, Inojin, and Chojo decided to fight back to protect Himawari. Realizing what they were doing, Jura tried to fire a Biju bomb at Shikadai as a warning to show that he was serious, but Chojo used her strength to push Jura, causing him to lose balance and miss his target. The Biju bomb, though small, still exploded somewhere in Konoha with the power of a large Biju bomb. Despite seeing Jura's strength, Team 10 didn't want to give up Himawari. Instead, they flew away from the village with her on Inojin's flying bird. Jura was curious about their actions. He noticed that Team 10 knew Himawari was the target and all they had to do was hand her over, but they kept resisting, even at the risk of death. Hidari commented that they were acting foolishly and calling them not very smart. Jura, however, responded to Hidari by saying they were not foolish. He believed there had to be something pushing them past their survival instincts. Jura concluded that this something was likely crucial information for them as well. As Team 10 and Himawari were flying away, Jura said that they must have known they could not outrun them, and perhaps they were trying to change the battlefield's location to reduce harm to their village. Jura then went after them. When he caught up, he fired a small Biju bomb at the bird's wing that was carrying Team 10 and Himawari, causing it to lose balance and making them fall. Luckily, Chojo extended herself and made everyone grab onto her so they could land safely on the ground. When Jura reached them, he told Team 10 again that they were a good team and it was a real shame to have to dispose of them. But he added it could not be helped as they chose this fate. After hearing Kurama motivate her to forget any foolish biases and believe in herself if she wanted to do something about Jura, Himawari charged at Jura to kick him. With ease, Jura grabbed her leg and broke it. This caused Himawari pain as she lay on the ground, thinking to herself that her leg was no good and there was no way she could fight. This made Inojin angry and he tried to hit Jura with his jutsu, but Jura easily blocked it. Jura then began trapping Himawari, who was on the floor, with his wood-style jutsu to devour her. As he was in the process of devouring her, Jura explained to Himawari that what he was doing in trapping her body in a tree was what the divine trees called devour, where she would simply become nourishment for him inside the tree. He reassured her that it would not be painful and she would not feel anything, including the pain from a fractured leg. This made Inojin even angrier and he charged at Jura with the kunai in his hand. Jura easily reacted to Inojin's attack and kicked him in the stomach, causing Inojin to fall to the ground in pain. Seeing this, Himawari asked Jura to stop what he was doing and to leave Team 10 out of it. Jura responded that he agreed with her but didn't understand why they would not stop resisting and trying to protect her. While Jura was speaking, Inojin, still on the ground, crawled towards him and touched his feet, telling Jura to let go of Himawari. In response, Jura used his wood-style jutsu to stab Inojin through the stomach as Inojin was still resisting. Seeing what happened to Inojin, Shikadai, Chojo and Himawari were heartbroken, in pain and filled with anger. After witnessing how far Team 10 and Himawari were willing to go to protect each other, especially Inojin, who was not afraid to die for his friends, Jura realized he had read about such actions somewhere. He wondered to himself if their determination to protect each other could be what they called aesthetic. At that point, Himawari's intense emotions allowed her to enter Biju mode, enabling her to protect her friends. After entering Biju mode, Himawari broke free from the wood-style tree that was trapping her, and her leg fully healed. In Biju mode, Himawari's hair separated into 9 tails, representing the number of tails Kurama has. Using her hair, Himawari removed Inojin from the wood-style jutsu that Jura had used to stab him, and she used her 9 tails chakra to heal and close the wound caused by Jura's attack. Himawari then told Shikada and Chojo to take Inojin to the hospital quickly, as she was not sure if she had healed him properly. Immediately after, she asked them to get away, considering that Jura was only after her and that they should be safe as long as they didn't interfere. She urged them to hurry and leave, wanting to fight Jura alone to protect her teammates and everyone else. Himawari believed that if she had Kurama's power, she should take on the responsibility that came with it, just as her father and Boruto would do. While Himawari was getting ready to fight Jura, Shikadai and Chojo were taking Inojin to safety and the hospital. Jura then said that he knew they were not completely idiots, which made it hard for him to understand why their judgment had dropped repeatedly in trying to protect Himawari from being devoured, even though she was the target. Jura said that Inojin had essentially caused his own destruction by not listening to his repeated warnings and engaging in reckless behavior that lacked rationality. Jura further commented that while he didn't fully understand it, something seemed to have sparked in Himawari after she entered Biju mode, and he wondered if it was just a coincidence or there was some connection. After the battle with Himawari, it was later revealed that Jura holds Konoha's cultural values in high regard and is unwilling to fight within the village. Therefore, unless extreme circumstances arise, Himawari should be safe, and Jura will not attempt to devour her as long as she stays within the village's boundaries. In Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 17, Jura went to a bookshop in Konoha to buy some books he had seen during his last visit when he tried to devour Himawari. However, this time, Jura didn't cause any trouble. He paid for the books in cash and even told the bookshop owner to keep the change as an advance payment for future purchases. After buying the books, Jura left peacefully without causing any problems in Konoha. Jura grew as a person by reading books and observing people's actions and behaviors. He didn't rely only on instincts, but used the knowledge he gained to think deeply and develop his understanding of the world. His interactions with Team 10 and Himawari helped him see things in a new way. For example, when Team 10 worked together to protect Himawari, Jura was impressed by their teamwork and how far they were willing to go for each other. He admired their determination even though it went against his own goals. This may have sparked something in him as he later began to respect Konoha's cultural values, such as the unity and willingness to protect each other, even in difficult situations. Jura's decision to hold Konoha's cultural values in high esteem likely came from his observations and growing understanding of the village. Even though he tried to devour Himawari, he didn't want to fight within Konoha, showing that he respected their traditions and way of life. This shows he's not just a mindless villain, but someone who learns and adapts, making him much more dangerous. Jura remains a threat because despite his respect for Konoha, he didn't give up on his goals of devouring Himawari. His ability to grow, think strategically, and adapt his plans means he can find new ways to achieve his goals. This combination of intelligence, patience, and persistency makes him far more dangerous than someone who only uses force. He's a villain who learns from every encounter, which means he can become even more powerful over time. The second situation occurred when Jura saw Boruto as a threat and wanted him defeated. When Boruto was fighting Hidari, Jura didn't step in or help Hidari in the fight. Instead, Jura stood back and watched. After Hidari was defeated, Jura noticed that Boruto knew about the Thorn Soul Bulbs. These Thorn Soul Bulbs are obtained by defeating a divine tree and can be used to free people who have been devoured and turned into trees. Jura retrieved Hidari's Thorn Soul Bulb to revive him and declared Boruto a major threat to his plans and the divine tree people. At first, Jura didn't see Boruto as a serious threat, but when he discovered that Boruto already knew about the Thorn Soul Bulbs, Jura realized that Boruto was far more dangerous than he had expected. Jura's original plan was to devour both Boruto and Kawaki in order to reach their final form and create a chakra fruit. However, Jura changed his mind, thinking Kawaki alone would be enough to be devoured by them. Jura decided that Boruto needed to be eliminated. As Jura prepared to fire a Biju bomb at Boruto to kill him, Mama Shu interrupted. Mama Shu informed Jura that Mitsuri had returned, and based on her investigation, suggested Boruto likely had an accomplice. Jura then concluded that this accomplice must be Boruto's source of information about the Thorn Soul Bulbs and other secrets. When Mama Shu asked Jura if the Thorn Soul Bulb he was holding belonged to Hidari and if Hidari had been killed, Jura confirmed it. He also told Mama Shu that Boruto was a strong enemy and that they needed to retreat to save Hidari's Thorn Bulb soul from rotting. Later, while Code was spying on the divine trees, he was caught by Ryu, who grabbed him by the neck with his metal scent. Jura told Ryu to release Code and introduce Code to the divine trees, saying that Code was the reason for their existence. Jura asked Code why he was there and what he wanted from them. Code then questioned why the divine trees had not yet devoured an Otsutsuki. Jura replied that they planned to do so eventually, but had more urgent matters to deal with in the meantime. Jura tried to appeal to Code's interest, reminding him of his grudge against Boruto. Jura told Code that Boruto was also a target for them and that Code was welcome to kill him. He added that Kawaki alone would be enough for them to devour to create a chakra fruit. Code responded by saying Jura had an attitude and claimed that he would decide who to kill. Code ordered Jura and the other divine trees to focus on devouring Onotsutsuki and reminded them that the chakra fruit was his to eat. Code said he will become a new Otsutsuki and inherit Ishiki's will. Hearing this, Jura began to wonder what would happen if the divine trees themselves ate the chakra fruit. When Code heard Jura's thoughts, he accused Jura of defying him. Code tried to attack Jura by sneaking his right hand through the claw marks, but Jura easily reacted. Jura fired a small compressed Biju bomb at Code's hand, cutting it off. While Code screamed in pain, Jura calmly told him he was grateful because Code had given the divine trees the ability to think for themselves. Thanks to Code, Jura said that the divine trees now lived enjoyable lives full of stimulation. Jura then remarked that Code's life seemed to lack motivation. Out of respect for Code as the benefactor, Jura gave him a task. He told Code to find and kill Otsutsuki Boruto along with the person who was helping him. Jura promised that if Code succeeded, he will offer him the chakra fruit. Jura asked if this proposal gave Code's life some excitement. Code agreed and said that Jura didn't need to repeat himself. Code vowed to kill Boruto and his comrades, saying that it was a deal. However, Code made it clear that he would make Jura give him the chakra fruit by any means necessary. Jura wished Code good luck and said he looked forward to seeing where Code's destiny would take him. Not only that, Jura sent Mitsuri and Ryu to the Land of Wind to track down Boruto and the person helping him so they could defeat them. Here's an interpretation of how Jura grew as a strategist. Jura values knowledge and takes time to observe people and learn from their actions. For example, when Boruto fought Hidari, Jura didn't interfere but instead observed the fight to study Boruto's abilities and gather more information about him. After Boruto defeated Hidari, Jura realized that Boruto knew about the Thorn Soul bulbs, a critical piece of knowledge that threatened the Divine Tree's plans. Instead of reacting impulsively, Jura retrieved Hidari's Thorn Soul bulb to preserve it and strategized on how to address the threat Boruto posed. By watching and learning, Jura recognizes Boruto as a bigger threat than he initially thought and adjusts his approach accordingly. Jura's decision reflects a deep understanding of prioritization and strategy. Initially, he planned to devour both Boruto and Kawaki to create a chakra fruit. However, after realizing Boruto's potential as a major threat, he decided Kawaki alone is enough to devour to be able to get the chakra fruit. Jura postponed killing Boruto to focus on preserving Hidari's Thorn Soul bulb and to listen to the information Matsuri got from her investigation, showing his ability to prioritize long-term goals over immediate revenge. Jura's strategic mindset enables him to focus on what matters most to achieve his objectives effectively. Jura shows growth by treating conflicts as an opportunity to learn and adapt. When Code confronted him, Jura didn't react emotionally, but instead acknowledged Code's role in granting the Divine Tree's individuality. He used this confrontation to further his own plans by assigning Code the task of killing Boruto. Jura even speculated about the potential consequences of the Divine Trees consuming the chakra fruit themselves, showing his willingness to explore new ideas and question existing beliefs. This ability to reflect and learn from interactions with both allies and enemies demonstrates Jura's intellectual maturity. Jura understands the importance of teamwork and delegation in achieving his goals. He sent Mitsuri and Ryu to track Boruto and the person helping him in the Land of Wind, relying on their skills to gather crucial information. Jura also engaged Code by offering him a deal to eliminate Boruto, effectively turning a potential rival into a temporary ally. This shows that Jura does not try to handle everything himself, but uses others' strength to advance his plans. Jura's intellectual growth and adaptability make him far more dangerous than a typical villain who relies solely on brute strength. He doesn't act impulsively, but carefully evaluates his enemies and plans his actions strategically. Jura's ability to adjust his goals and strategies based on new information ensures he remains a step ahead of his opponents. Jura's dedication to learning and understanding the world around him gives him an edge, as he can foresee and counter potential threats like Boruto and the person helping him. Despite setbacks, Jura never abandons his goal of creating a chakra fruit and devouring Himawari. His resolve, combined with his intelligence, makes him an enemy who cannot be easily defeated.